Hi everyone, Tanya Hertz here. So I just wanted to share a little bit with you some of the information that we covered at the Regional Entrepreneurship Center Innovation Lab today. And we talked a bit about how we as entrepreneurs use LinkedIn as a tool for networking and not just as it's really was intended for, which is a tool for people to recruit and select employees. So LinkedIn is used quite a bit by a lot of different users. People use LinkedIn for a number of different things, but we do know that when companies are hiring, they will tap into LinkedIn. They'll tap into social media. They'll Google the names of the of the candidates, and very often Google takes them to LinkedIn. And a lot of that has to do with the way that Google ranks different search, excuse me, or I'll say it a different way. It's the way that Google ranks your name or anything that we put into a search bar. And that's done not by how many clicks it has, but by how many links there are on a particular page. And so LinkedIn has a lot of links because of the links that it has to other users, the links that it has to other websites, companies, and things like this. So people, when they type in a name into Google, very often that name will bring up the LinkedIn account, especially if it's a good account. And if you haven't done so, I recommend all of you now go ahead and Google your name exactly the way that you have it on your business card or your resume, because that's what people are going to put in when they're looking you up. So entrepreneurs use LinkedIn for different things. We use it to network with one another, to connect with one another, to find other founders of companies, to find our mentors, advisors, team members, employees, anyone that we want to connect with. We use LinkedIn to do so. About 92% of all entrepreneurs are using LinkedIn to connect with one another. We use it to promote ourselves, to promote our business, to promote our brand. We use this to locate speakers when we need speakers, or venture capitalists when we need venture capitalists, products recommendations. We use it for a lot of different things, And I recommend that before you do anything with your trying to find a mentor or trying to build out a team, that you make sure that your LinkedIn looks very good, because people are going to look on there and see whether or not they want to invest in you, whether that's monetary investment or investment of time and energy. So LinkedIn is for professionals. About 64% of LinkedIn users actually have a bachelor's degree or higher. That's compared to about a little over 40% for Facebook, and even lower for Twitter. 86% of CEOs say that they use LinkedIn for networking with one another, for their peers and colleagues. And about 92% of entrepreneurs or founders, like I said, use networking for connecting with peers, for connecting with colleagues. So if you are in entrepreneurship, you should be on LinkedIn so that you can connect with one another, because that's how people are connecting right now. When you're connecting, you'll want to have an updated photo. You'll want that photo to be somewhat professional, professional attire, sitting up straight, good lighting, not having a drink or being on the beach with your friends, but really a professional type photo that you'll use to represent yourself. You can go to a job fair to get your photo taken. You could pay to get your photo taken. If you're bootstrapping, just come to the Rec Innovation Lab and we'll take your photo for free. We did that today, and we'll do that again during the semester. I actually had some of the entrepreneurs, the students in the Gazelle Path, were taking the photos, and they did a great job. They came out so good. Normally I would bring in the professional photographer, but it worked out great. I loved it. So you want to make sure that your LinkedIn profile, technically it's your online resume, your LinkedIn. It's not a place that you house your online resume. You don't cut and paste your online resume there. You actually, it's a built out, separated online resume with work samples, descriptions, and all of that work history that you have, so that you want to make sure that your resume is a good place to start, that your LinkedIn is bigger than your resume. It's beefier, it's more robust than your resume. So I always tell students, just cut and paste from your resume so that there are descriptions of your, the job, the duties, the company, etc. So you'll use your LinkedIn unlike a resume in that it's much more complete. You won't, don't feel the need to omit as much. So it can have lots of things, even if they're not relevant right now to your particular industry. And it's a good idea to have things that show that you are, that you have a broad and diverse background of knowledge, skills, abilities, education, experience, passion, projects, etc. So make your LinkedIn profile public. That's how people can actually find you. You should customize your URL so that it's not a long string of numbers and letters. As soon as we're done here, I'll actually go onto my LinkedIn and I'll show you what I mean about customizing, or how to customize the URL. A good idea is to customize the URL with your first and last name. You'll want to make sure that your contact information in your phone is up to date, that you have a professional email address. A good idea is the company name or your first and last name with the company name. Avoid dots and avoid dashes in emails. They confuse people. And always, well, go with Gmail. That's what most people use. If there's some other reason to go with another, fine, but Gmail's preferable. Right? Include a QR code so that people can actually find your LinkedIn. If you do want to go old-fashioned and carry a business card, you can, for connecting at networking things, you can just print the QR code onto the business card, maybe the name, phone number, and QR code, and that QR code should take the visitor right to your LinkedIn. I'm gonna actually pause the PowerPoint here to show you how to access and how to create a QR code. So if you're creating a QR code, you'll want to go on to Google, just in the search, type in, I don't know, free QR code generator. That works. Don't do the ad, but QR Monkey's a good one. So there's a QR code generator, simple as this. So if I wanted to create my QR code, what I would do is I would go to my LinkedIn profile, go to my profile itself. My URL is, sorry, it's a little slow yet. Oh, I'm already on there. And you'll take your URL, cut and paste. Oh, I'll show you while we're here too. This is how you would edit your URL. There's a little button up here that says Edit Public Profile and URL. Just click on that and you can edit or customize your URL rather. Okay. So then back to where we were, Command C to copy, or Control C if you're on a PC. Go back to your QR generator, into the search bar. You would do Control V or Command V, depending on what you're using. And then after you paste that on there, you can just hit enter, which will create your QR code. So you can download an image, a PNG image. You can also save different types of files, PDF of your QR code, or an easy sort of thing is just take a snip of it. So if you're on a Mac, it would be, what is it? Shift Command 4 for taking a snip. Take a snip there. There's a snip. And then you have that snippet on your, I believe it's on your desktop. Screenshot, there's a screenshot. And so I can actually just copy and Command C, or files, copy. And then that can go right onto your business card, your resume, et cetera, right? Now you have that. That QR code is going to take anybody who scans that with their phone right to my LinkedIn. Now, you do not want to use a QR code when you are submitting anything electronically, like a resume or contact information electronically. Then you use a link. But this is just for paper things. I want to go back to LinkedIn. So one other thing, since we're here on LinkedIn now, you can see the different sections in LinkedIn that we have. You'll always want to have an About section in LinkedIn. It tells a little bit about yourself. You can see these little, at the bottom here, these little icons. They call them media in LinkedIn, but they aren't necessarily media. It could be a work sample. It could be, these are videos that we've just made of the Rec Innovation Lab. And so you could watch videos about the lab. Anytime we have, we're mentioned in a newspaper or anything like this, we put it in there. So the sections, we have the About section. We also have the Experience section. We have the, below that, Experience, and put all that experience in there. You'll have your education. You'll also have any licenses and certifications that you have. And this is, I should put more in here. Now I'm looking at this. Anytime you get any digital badging, you'll put that there. Anytime you get any kind of licensing certification, volunteer experience goes there. Skills endorsements go there. These are your recommendations. Accomplishments, this is a good place to put courses that you've taken, workshops that you've completed, honors, awards, languages you speak, organizations of which you are a part. All of these are important to include on your LinkedIn. The more robust, the better. The more robust, the better on LinkedIn. So you'll want to connect with others on LinkedIn. It's all about, in LinkedIn, quality connections, not quantity. So you do want to find people that that you can network with, that can help you and you can help them, when we can find mutually beneficial relationships. Now, I will say one thing also about making these relationships and these connections. LinkedIn is just a tool, right? You still have to meet them at different events, through introductions from friends and colleagues, and you want to make sure that you're putting yourself out there. I mean, obviously, with coronavirus, you won't want to be going maybe out to events, but you definitely want to be connecting with other people, and you'll want to connect with them on LinkedIn immediately after the event itself. And you can even do so while you're at the event. Share the contact information while you're there, and then add them in LinkedIn. And it's not just about having connections in LinkedIn. It's about using those connections, knowing who these people are, commenting on their posts, and putting posts yourself. Do not get into LinkedIn and just say, now I have my LinkedIn and I'm done, right? It's going to sit there and crickets. Nobody hears anything from me. You should be posting in there maybe once a week, or at least once every 2 weeks. You want to be posting there. Anytime you go to a workshop, a networking event, anything that is entrepreneurial, you'll want to put that in there. Remember, right now, we are trying to build out our entrepreneurial teams, start our companies. And so we really want to make sure that we're using LinkedIn to show that we're entrepreneurs. So anything entrepreneurial you're doing, when you go into the lab, you can tag that you're there. If you see one of the speakers through this, say, hey, just went to this workshop, met this speaker, post. Don't disappear. So the summary section is very similar to an objective statement on a resume. You'll want to put things that show that you have the necessary knowledge, skills, and abilities to be a successful entrepreneur. You might want to say anything that makes you look really good, especially considering the business that you're starting. So if you're starting a business in childcare and you've been working for 15 years in the childcare industry, you might want to say that up at the top, right? Even though we can see that in the experience section. Rather. All right. So the experience section, like I said, that's your online resume portion. Include all of your current and past employment history. And when you saw on my LinkedIn, we'll go back over here to my LinkedIn. If you saw that on there in the experience section, it's not just, it's not just that I have the companies for which I've worked. I also have a write-up about them. You'll see it's not just even as little as you might see on a resume. It's even more than that. Remember that the resume if a resume is well written, it will cause the recruiter to come on to LinkedIn and look a little bit more about it. If an elevator pitch is well delivered, it will cause the potential mentor or investor to come on here and learn a little bit more about you. So don't have less, have more, is my point. You can cut and paste from your resume, or you can write this out here. And by the way, your elevator pitches will go into LinkedIn. I highly recommend that you put them in as soon as you make them, and you will put them in either your right up at the beginning in your about section, or you can put it with the company, right, that you're pitching, if you have that in the experience section. Okay. So back to where we are. LinkedIn. Make sure, like I said, a minimum of 3 to 4 job duties, just like on a resume. The more, the better. Okay. Oh, and if you're having trouble writing a description of a particular job, you can always go to onetonline.org, and there it's collaboration of the Department of Labor and I can't remember who else. Well, at any rate, it's Department of Labor. They have lots of information about jobs. They have all of the tasks that the most people who hold a position similar to yours do. And so that's a good place to go if you're having trouble writing out your the duties or description of the duties. So experience section, this is where you'll put the elevator pitch, documents, flyers, newspaper articles. If you created one of the flyers for the Entrepreneurship Center, for the Innovation Lab, and you know, obviously you'll have a digital copy of that, put that in there. Show what you can do. Show that you are the kind of person who can start and run a company. You've got lots of experience out there and lots of things that you've done. All of those samples of your work are extremely helpful, extremely helpful. Professional recommendations are also, they carry a lot of weight because they're difficult to get people to give them to you because they take a lot of time. I would recommend asking colleagues, asking people that you've worked for and with. LinkedIn will not let you ask for a recommendation for someone that you do not share a work history with. Now, if you list one of your jobs, I know it's not technically a job, but if you list either your job or your education, list that Rec Innovation Lab in there, and you're welcome to do this, then you can ask for a recommendation from me and from other people who are also in the Rec Innovation Lab. Or if you're in an entrepreneurship class, same thing. You can list that class in there, and then it shows that you have a shared connection. You can ask for a recommendation. This is essentially a letter of recommendation, the same as if you were asking for a written letter, LOR. And for a lot of companies, it carries the same weight as a written or requested LOR. And so it's a good thing to have in there. So connections, connect with everyone that you meet that you want in your network. The broader, the more diverse your network, the better. And you can allow them to access your email in order to do that. And make sure that you're tagging people at events. So every time you go to an event that's entrepreneurial, that shows that you're getting that knowledge, that skill set in entrepreneurship, that you are posting and you're tagging others. In order to tag, you use the little @ symbol first, and then it will come up with their name, and then select their name so that we have that link. Right? So your name goes up and up in Google. So I told you, if you can Google your name the way that it is right now on your business card, please do that. I want to do this again in 12 weeks. I want you to Google your name again in 12 weeks, and I want to see if we were able to do anything good with your name, maybe filling Google up with your name. I think we'll be able to. We've had pretty good success before doing that in classes. So always include a photo at an event. Don't wait to post. Don't say, oh, I want to make my hair perfect. I want to fix the photo first. And I have to write out this like really thoughtful post. Perfection is the enemy of progress in entrepreneurship. If you're a perfectionist like me and many of us have been in the past, I'm not anymore. I've learned my lesson, and now it's all about getting it done and moving forward. Please try to do that. Not to say don't do a good job, do a good job, but get it done. Better to get it done. Think of LinkedIn as your brag book. Keep it positive, keep it professional, keep it friendly. Avoid anything that's controversial. Avoid anything that is wholly unprofessional. I'm having a glass of wine tonight. I don't normally have wine, but I feel like this week with coronavirus and everything else, I'm doing it. So hopefully I don't get sick to my stomach because of it, but tastes delicious now. So make sure you're tagging every event, every milestone, anything good that you did, you know, post it, tag yourself, tag others, let people know that you're there. Post, post, post. And basics of search engine optimization. I already told you this, but the way that Google ranks a site or a page is how many other pages are linked to that page, how many visits it has that are not direct site visits, right? So visits through other pages, and that's how it gets up higher in Google. And if you want your name higher in Google, and you do, then you need LinkedIn, and we'll be able to fill up Google with just LinkedIn, I think. You can also, if you want to do this faster, buy your domain name. You should be able to buy your domain name for, we were talking at the lab today, most of us have been able to find it for about $1 a year, depending on how many years you purchase. That's if you purchase 5 years or more. I've seen it as expensive as $10 for 1 year, and as little as $1 a year. So you definitely want to shop around. Buy the domain name, maybe your first and last name, or the name that's on your resume or business card, if it has the middle initial. Oh, and I should say that too. If you have a name that's very common, or a name that, like, maybe you share a name with somebody who's infamous, like let's say your name is Donald Trump, right? You don't want to expect to fill Google up with you. It's just not going to happen. And so a better thing to do is rebrand yourself. That's what you're doing. That's what we're talking about, is branding yourself. So rebrand yourself with a middle initial or a middle name or some other way to differentiate you from, who. So, and then that goes on your LinkedIn, that goes on your business cards, that goes on your resume, that goes on everything that goes out on your website, everything. So buy the domain name, put on that, even if you don't have anything to put now, you can just put, information about yourself, about your company, put your elevator pitch there, whatever you have. But it's a good way to fill up that Google. You're never going to get rid of anything online that you don't like. If something is up there that you're not happy about, bad company review, something like this, you'll never get rid of it really. The only thing that you can truly hope to do is push it out with filling up Google with good things. And that's it's a strategy for a lot of companies who've done maybe unethical things, something like that. Okay, connect. We already said all of this. Did we go off of this? Is that it? That's all there was. Well, no wonder we're going off of that. Yeah, that's all there was. Okay. So publicize. Oh, no, I didn't talk about Metatext. Yeah, there is one more. So research keywords in your industry. If you do buy a domain name, if you are starting right now your company website, make sure that you research keywords in your industry and then put those keywords in, include them into the content, into the titles, use meta tags, maximize how often you use those words, so that when people put those words into the Google search bar rather, that they find you and your company. And whatever you're creating online, link it together. Use LinkedIn as a sort of platform to do that, and that'll really help help you to get up there. So I think that's it on all of the things that we covered. Have a great night. Oops, I didn't mean to share that. I'm trying to stop the share. There. Have a great night. We will see you again soon. Hopefully we'll get through all of the issues that we've been having and with meeting remotely. But for now, at least we'll be able to communicate this way, and I hope it works for most of us. And I will see you all again very soon. Next time we get together, we'll be working on our elevator pitches. So definitely get working on that. I'll see you all on Friday. Bye. Take care.